Excellency, this is not the best of times for this country, and I want to believe it is one of the reasons you met with Mr. President this morning. What do you say?
Yes, thank you very much. This is certainly a very trying moment for our country and for the leadership of this country. And as a National Assembly, we believe that we have a very critical and crucial role to play in ensuring that the current situation of protests across the country is brought to an end. I want to thank Mr. President for exhibiting his very deep democratic credentials. The protests have gone on for over 10 days, and probably today is the 11th day across many states of the country. And I think the protesters had expressed their legitimate rights. The government has listened. And the essence of coming to meet Mr. President is to review the situation and see the roles that the two arms of government should play in ensuring that the demands of the protesters, the 5-point demands, are properly addressed. Where legislative intervention will be required, we are ready to move in and deal with such expeditiously to ensure that we don't waste any time, so that we address the concerns of our youth. Where the executive role is expected, we are sure that the executive will also expedite action, and we will be watching to ensure that such demands are properly met. It is also very critical at this point to mention this. Since the protests have taken place and the issues have been accepted, the time has come for the protests to stop, because government needs to have sufficient time, a clement environment to implement the demands of the protesters. We also need to have our economy to continue to go on. When you try to stop everybody from engaging in their lawful businesses, closing roads to markets and other economic places, we distract the economy of the country, and that is not the best way to go. If the issues had not been accepted, then there would have been genuine reasons to continue with demonstrations and protests. But since the issues have been accepted, we should give government time to implement the issues. And therefore, I'm taking this opportunity to appeal to our youth who are protesting that the protests have already yielded the desired results. First of all, they say end SARS. That was the beginning. SARS was ended not by the IGP. SARS was ended by the president himself. The president, President Muhammad Buhari, made a statement, a presidential statement, and that will be the first time that any president will say end SARS. And SARS has ended. The other issues followed. The other issues are being addressed, and that's why we are here. So I believe that the time has come for this protest to come to an end, to allow government to address the issues in a very short time. I also believe that other Nigerians have legitimate rights to go on their lawful businesses without let or hindrance. And we cannot have that when the roads are blocked. So we don't want a situation where there will be a degeneration of law and order because somebody is blocked and he feels he must have his way. So we believe that withdrawing from this process at this moment is the right thing to do. Meanwhile, give us the opportunity to deal with matters that we have, as a government, agreed to handle.
Lost control of the situation. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, thank you. Let me just very quickly piggyback on what the Senate President said. Right now, we've met with the President, and I can assure you that there is no bigger Democrat than Mr. President. He gave us a listening ear that the same as he's always given Nigerians for the first time in history. Don't forget his background. He accepted absolutely everything that Nigerians asked for. It's the first time in history that, because I've heard this story that, we've had NSARS, 4 times before in our past, and that's what people are saying. And like I say, this is the first time you haven't heard it from Mr. President. You've never heard it from Mr. President, but now he said so. So let us tarry a little while. Let us sit back. We've gotten what we want, what we started out with. So let us sit and see what happens. Now, if you like, you begin your protest again if nothing happens in 2 weeks. But let us not continue this thing and then lose the plot. That is what I don't want. I don't want our youth to lose the plot. They've done so well in terms of expressing their grievances, and it's important we don't get sidetracked. Of course, there are tangential issues that they've discussed after the NSAS. Government, we spoke with Mr. President, is looking at every single thing. But some of these things are policy matters that will not take, that are not going to happen overnight. You know, you're not going to ask for electricity overnight, and it's going to happen tomorrow. You're not going to have free roads, and it's going to happen tomorrow. But it's a process. And the important thing is that government has heard you loud and clear. I have heard. Now, it's a continuous engagement. I'm more than happy as the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to engage, and I'm sure the Senate President as well, to begin to engage our youth in matters of policy and communicate with Mr. President as well on what needs to be done. So again, let us not lose the plot. Let us remain focused. A point has been made like never before in the history of Nigeria, and I think that's kudos to the young men and women out there. As far as Osun State is concerned, it's unfortunate what happened to the Osun State governor, and this is where I say we begin to lose the plot. The Osun State governor is loved by everybody in Osun State, and he came to address people, and that's what he got. At that point, you begin to wonder, what exactly do we want? What exactly is there an unseen hand? I don't think there's an unseen hand. I think this is a movement, but we should not allow people to infiltrate what otherwise is a good cause. So that's for me. My advice is to all of us is that even though there's trust deficiency, let us, for whatever it's worth, trust government in what it has done now. It has ended SARS. Nobody can argue that. SARS is ended. Ended completely. Never to be heard of anymore. Now, we talk about SWAT. We interrogated the IG about 3-4 days ago, and we asked the question because I got the reaction. I felt the same way. People have asked for you to end SARS, and the very next day you come up with SWAT. How is that possible? SWAT from where? But he explained to us, which a lot of us don't know, and a lot of people out there don't know, that in any security outfit, particularly the police, if there's a special unit and you disband, you don't leave a vacuum. It's apparently a police code anywhere in the world that you don't leave a vacuum. It has to be filled. And that's why they came up with SWAT. Having come up with SWAT, the criteria, the engagement of SWAT, the personnel, what they can do, what they cannot do, they're up the streets. It's a complete departure from the way SARS was meant to operate. Let's remain focused. Let us stay on track. And the way to stay on track is to work with government. We're all on the same page. Nobody is against you. It's not us against them. It's not you against us. No, we're all on one page. And that is what needs to be understood. And if we're all on one page, then we'll get to we'll get the desired results. Thank you. Yeah.